Hey, what's up, guys? This is Andy with Call Me Talk again. Like I said, I had a review up for you guys, and my review, like I said last time, is actually going to be Batman Under the Red Hood. Like I said, uh, written by Judd Winnick and arts mainly by Doug Mankey through most of it. As some of you know, this is actually the story where Jason Todd gets brought back. This is kind of a controversial subject in the DC universe because a lot of people, as you know, in Death of the Family, um, or Death in the Family, that Jason Todd was beaten and killed by the Joker. Around this time, Marvel was actually doing the same thing with Bucky Barnes and brought him back as a Winter Soldier. This is kind of DC's answer to that and decided to do Batman Under the Red Hood. So, let's start with the actual story. The story starts as uh, new a new player showed up in Gotham named the Red Hood. He shows up and he's constantly doing making deals with the gangsters and the big monsters in Gotham. While he's doing that, he's also pretty much saying, "All right, all of you, uh, anything you do that comes in and out of this town goes through me first. You have to message. I get a small portion. That's it." He feels like he can control it, almost Punisher style, where if he controls kind of the mobs and stuff like that, he can actually keep the crime in check in a different way than Batman can. And if anyone goes out of that way, he'll kill him. One thing he does state very early on is that um, no dealing with kids, no, no dealing drugs to kids, no nothing like that. While this goes on, Batman kind of catches word of it and tries to stop him. He also, while in town, Nightwing also tries to help out Batman a little bit by going after him. This is also a weird parallel because you get to see before that's revealed to Jason is the two parallels of how his two sons going to turn out. How the first one, Dick, turned out who's almost like a spitting image of Batman, and Jason who's almost like a deep perversion of Batman. Where Batman raised Jason up and taught him all these techniques, and and of course after what happened with the Joker, it warped his whole sense of view, and now he's turned into this really dark perversion of almost a weird culmination of Batman and the Joker, which is kind of ironic because that's why I took the name the Red Hood because he wouldn't be born without what Joker did to him. But Batman has run into the Red Hood a couple of times and notices some weird things about how the way he moves and acts and fights in the field. A couple of things that only someone who has years of experience and stuff that only the Bat family would know that um, stuff that only the Bat family would know and how to stop these tricks. So Red Hood has come on multiple, is pretty much running town as kind of the new vigilante, and everybody's afraid of him. While Batman decides to go out of town and talk to some other superhero friends. He talks to Green Arrow and Superman, and kind of gets the idea and asks them how they came back to life. Green Arrow pretty much tells him his story, which was God gave him a second chance at life, and Superman tells him I didn't really die. I went into a Kryptonian coma after my fight with Doomsday. Batman gets mad at both of them, thinking, oh, there's no way he can really come back from the dead. As he goes to meet Red Hood for a first confrontation, he finally realizes and gets the idea that, and asks him straight up, are you Jason Todd? He takes off the helmet and pretty much tells him, yes, I'm Jason, I'm back, this is what I'm gonna be a better you. I'm gonna be what you should have been, and if you killed other villains while you're out in the field, maybe I wouldn't have died. And multiple confrontations between them throughout the book. While this is going on, we also kind of see a short little backstory where the Black Mask, who's also running the crime in Gotham, is having a little feud with Red Hood also, where all the mob bosses that Red Hood has been taken down also belong to Black Mask. So Red Hood's almost become a new player in the crime scene in Gotham. This all slowly kind of builds up into a big confrontation between Batman and Batman and Jason, where Jason actually kidnaps the Joker and makes Batman have a choice. The choice is whether I'm going to kill the Joker or you kill me before this happens. Just to prove the point that Batman can cross that line, that Batman really is just like Jason. But he tells not to kill all the villains, just kill him because he took me away from you. which I feel is a really good culmination of Jason's character. Uh, this is a weird time in DC where this is before Green Lantern Rebirth and before Flash Rebirth. So while this happened, no one really, there wasn't really known for much superheroes coming back. Superman and Green Arrow came back, and I think that was it at the time. And I think this is right around the time of Infinite Crisis. In the trade, which I've actually got right here, of course, the trade again, which also has pretty much the whole run. Again, Doug Mankey's art pretty much shows. See if I can find the page for you guys. A really good spread. Sorry, this is taking a while, guys. As you know, this is Doug Mankey before Green Lantern Rebirth. So a lot of the spreads that he has in here is, as you know from his art from Green Lantern, is very beautiful and very lifelike. A good one is Batman's final meet with Jason after all these years, where he kind of reveals that, yes, I am Jason Todd after he takes the helmet off, and shows him that, yes, it's me, I'm back, this is it. But the weird thing is, how did Jason actually come back? He never really explained that in the right way, and there was an explanation coming up before the New 52 reboot. The big explanation is, and it's kind of a crappy explanation, is if you read Infinite Crisis, Superboy Prime punches a hole in reality and causes a bunch of things to kind of change and explode and warp the whole DC universe. When he does this, it causes a bunch of events to change, like Jason, who did die and was killed by the Joker, just all of a sudden apparently he was not supposed to die, and his body gets reformed back into something brand new and different. He gets brought back, but he still has brain damage, so he wanders Gotham for probably, don't really say, maybe says a couple years. I'm just guessing it. It's been a while since I've actually read it. I probably should have read it before, but I remember this is one of the first comic books I actually picked up because I love the Jason Todd character as the Robin who kind of failed and Batman's biggest failure. One big thing about the story is, you don't really get it, it's not in the trades, but Joe Winnick did write it and had to give a quick explanation last minute. It's like, oh crap, Jason's back, but never really gave an explanation how he came back. So he's wandering around the streets of Gotham kind of like as a hobo, with his muscle memory from what he learned from Batman, but with no memory of who he is. So he's actually found by Talia al Ghul and is actually dumped into the Lazarus pit where he gets all his memories back, and is then pretty much spends his whole time around the world training to become a different Batman. He actually learns all the stuff from all of Batman's teachers, like pretty much goes from Roz to everybody else, like in the Batman Begins, and learns like how to fight, a new way to fight, how to kill, goes to Batman's Masters and learns all the same fighting skills as he did, but in a death matter. Learns how to shoot guns, learns how to do pretty much try to be a better Batman. When he finally comes back to Gotham, he comes back in the story Hush, which I will have a review for, but he comes as a meeting to Batman to kind of show that he's still around. But in Hush, it shows that it's not really him, that's really Clayface. That's actually messing with Batman, and him and Scarecrow kind of do a thing in Hush that messes with Batman to make him think that Jason did come back, but is actually dead. He's not, which is revealed in here. But the story kind of ends with this big confrontation again with Batman, Joker, and Red Hood, and apparently Joker, of course, as we know, always has a backup plan and has bombs placed all over the building. So when Batman kind of goes through and stops Red Hood's plan and kind of talks Red Hood down and talks Red Hood down from killing Joker, Joker then blows up the bomb and the building explodes. We don't know what happens after that, and don't really get an answer for that until Green Arrow issues, or that's when he shows up next, or in the Nightwing issues that he shows up in as Evil Nightwing, or in Teen Titans when he meets Tim and pretty much destroys Tim and the rest of the Teen Titans team by himself. My review, it's actually a really good book, but there's a bunch of inconsistencies that make Batman seem kind of stupid. This is a man who's supposed to be the world's greatest detective, and he really can't even figure out, he comes to a conclusion that Jason's back from the dead with no proof, no DNA, no nothing. Throughout the series, you do get to see an idea of, was Jason really going to end like this, or was it the Lazarus pit that made him crazy? You see flashbacks of his time as Robin, where he's kind of his first meeting with Robin, where he met Jason. He met Jason one day on Crime Alley when he was actually stealing one of the wheels off the Batmobile. And he figured that was destiny, and maybe that's why I should make him Robin. It's kind of a meant to be thing. You get to see him kind of culminate into being more, kind of taking all his anger out on the villains that he's fighting against as Robin. Um, of course, then leads to his death, which just makes him very careless in how he almost treated the job like it was a game, and that's mainly what caused him to get killed, which was he never really thought anything bad would happen to him. So, um, thoughts on the book? I actually really like the book, but there's actually a movie version of Under the Red Hood, or Under Batman Under the Hood, which actually fixes some of the problems in this book, which gives a little bit better of an explanation of Jason's revival and everything brought back, and his meeting with it, which again, it's a good book. I love the idea of Jason coming back as the Robin, again the Robin who kind of failed and Batman's biggest failure. And as we've seen from Batman and Superman, this might be an allusion to Suicide Squad, or maybe the new Joker is this form of Jason. I'm not a big fan of that, but if it's what it is, I mean, at least we got Jason in live action, right? I recommend picking it up if you want to be just a Jason Todd fan or not. It's, again, I would recommend, even if you like art, this is actually a fairly decent read. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it maybe a 6 or a 7. Not the best Batman story I've read, but again, it's not really bad. Batman, it's more like his interaction between him and Jason. And that's all I've got, guys. If you want the next review, just let me know in the comments below. I think my next review I'm probably going to do is Green Arrow, The Longbow Hunters, which I kind of wanted to read for a review for a while, but never really had the chance. If you want to let me know what to read or comment on, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely get back to you guys. And also, like I said, we're working on a game channel right now, and the game channel will, as soon as you find something that we'll post and have links on this channel here that'll lead us to there, we'll be doing some videos like Dark Souls, Destiny, Street Fighter 5, stuff like that. Anything that's new and out in the video game scene. Maybe do some video game news stuff like that. Maybe a couple of podcasts in the future. Who really knows? But otherwise, thanks guys, and all of you that actually have been watching us and watching our videos. Really like to thank you guys a lot, and some of you guys that actually subscribe to us. Again, thanks a lot. It's really fun doing this. I'd love to do some more. And again, if you have any more that you want us to review, or even some video games you want us to play, just let us know, and let us know in the comments below. Alright, thanks guys.